Hey everyone, it's Jesse from Average Ontario Anglers. Today you're going to join me for some bushwhacking steelhead fishing in small streams. So let's get walking. That was a pretty good walk. I'd say at least a kilometer or so. The reason that I boot-tailed it down here quick is because I've been fishing this particular tributary for about 15 years, and I know that most of it, if you walk and fish the pools, you'll catch little browns and stuff. But if you're looking for steelhead, this particular pool here, it's the deepest pool with a bunch of big logs in this whole stretch. So they kind of congregate in here, and I've found them in here over the years as late as June. And the reason I like this pool is it's deep, it's got a really nice undercut bank with a bunch of roots, and there's a bunch of logs. So they like to hang out there. The problem with that is they're very hard to pull out of there. And I was out here 2 or 3 days ago with my light 6.6 St. Croix ultralight trout rod, and I had 5 on and they snapped me all off. So I had to come back here and redeem myself. So I brought a medium light, and I'm running actually 10-pound braid, and I've got that hooked up to a long 15-foot 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, and I'm using this Suffix 100% fluorocarbon. This is actually going to be the first time that I'm using this, so we'll see how it holds up. So let's see what we're going to do. So even though the water is really clear, there's many ways to catch these steelhead, but I found the best way is just going old school and using a big juicy dewar. And I know the water is clear and that may not sound like the best bait to use, but these fish, you have to remember, these are big fish. Some of them are 5, 10 pounds plus, and they're in this small creek that doesn't have that much food in it if you think of it. So if you drift a big dewar out there, they'll grab it. So the actual technique that I'm using today is just a basic, hook, and what I'm using actually is a circle hook. I don't know if you've ever tried one of those, but the premise is, even if the fish tries to swallow it, you don't set the hook, you just slowly reel it, and it just hooks them right in the corner of the mouth. So we're going to see how well that works. I've been using circle hooks for a few years and they seem to work really good, so hopefully I can show you how well these things work. So I'm going to use as little weight as possible. Sometimes I won't even use weight, but today, because it's a deeper pool, I'm just going to put one small split shot, and we're going to see how that works. Okay, so let's see what happens. If you notice, I like to cast it out, give it a little bit of line, and then just put my rod down. And the reason for that is that's the way my dad taught me how to fish, just putting the rod down. It helps me be a little more patient and not constantly be, reeling in my worm constantly. It lets it just flow down there instead at the bottom. Some of these fish, they're really spooked and finicky, and I find if you let it sit down there for 5 or 6 minutes instead of constantly casting it, I find you catch more fish. So. All right, so those 2 logs going down, there's a fish that just pulled in right underneath. This is a bad spot, but see if he'll hit anything. I'm gonna have to go around this tree. Whew. Oh, that's good. Just gonna bring them up here quick. There. That's a beautiful fish. Not bad. Whew. Bit of a excitement there, you know. Look at that fish. Nice hen. Pretty good shape. Little cut there, but not bad. Grab the dew worm. So that was really fast. I mean, I'd fished the pool maybe for about 4 or 5 minutes until that one grabbed it. I saw two go up underneath that log. I dropped the worm down and I just saw the fish just swim up and suck it down. So don't be afraid to use a big worm. And again, that circle hook there, it's different than using a regular hook if you've never used them. A circle hook, you'd never set the hook because it'll just pull the hook right out of their mouth. You just, when you feel the fish biting, you just sort of lean back till you feel them, and then naturally the fish will kind of pull against the line to get away. And this hook just wraps around the corner of their mouth. Same with that fish, right in the corner. So you give them a little bit of tightness, and then when you feel them start swimming, just reel into them, and that's all you have to do. They never swallow it, they never gut hook it. Oh wow, there's a few fish swimming up here right now. I'm eager to get back in, but one thing to do before you get back fishing is, especially, I don't know if you saw in the footage, but there's a lot of logs that fish was going underneath. Check your line. So again, this 8-pound fluorocarbon, it held up really good. I'm very happy with it so far. It's got a little bit of stretch, but as you can feel, there's a bunch of nicks on that line. Right about a foot, I'd say. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut that off, I'm gonna retie. You don't wanna fish line with nicks in it because you will lose some good fish. So when it comes to worms, I just pick them after a rain. You don't need huge garter snake size ones. The ones that are about that big are perfect. They're about 3.5, 4 inches long. That size right there is perfect. So, yeah. And again, try not to buy styrofoam. Reuse some Grec yogurt containers and go pick your own worms. You'll save some money and it's better for the environment. All right, so I got my worm all ready. I just got one small split shot up here, just enough to get it down to the bottom of the pool. 8-pound fluorocarbon. Let's see if we can get fish number 2. And I'm just trying to get it right down there. Just like that. I'm gonna give it a little bit of slack so it can drift under there. Make sure my drag isn't too tight, and I'm just gonna put my rod down. Now one tip too is watch your rod tip obviously, but watch your line. And that's why I like using braided line, because it's a little lighter colored. You can watch your line drifting, and when it straightens out, you'll oftentimes see the bites before the rod tip starts jumping. Oh! Holy smokes. It's wrapped around the log there. Still on the line, but see if I can get it off. Oh, she's still on way down there. Oh, broke the line. That sucks. That's the problem when you fish these spots, is there's a lot of logs down there. Even 8-pound fluorocarbon, as you saw on that log, just she wrapped around it and then just started head shaking and snapped the line. Even a 5-pound fish can easily break 10-pound line. So another quick tip when you're fishing these clear steelhead creeks is stay down on your knees. These fish can see you, they're really finicky right now. The water's gin clear. You want to make sure you're not standing up really high close to the bank, because they'll see you 100%, and I guarantee you'll catch more fish if you crawl up to the spot and you try to stay down on your knees out of sight. So that's one tip that'll help you catch more fish. Oh, there's another one. Oh, wow, wow. And he's got me around the log, of course. Yeah, that was one of the biggest ones in the pool too. Oh, he came off anyway. Just snagged me on the log. Oh man, that is steelhead fishing in small creeks 101. You are gonna lose a lot of fish, even if you're using stiffer line. I guess you could go up to a 10-pound even here, but I find the thicker you go, the less bites you get. But look at it, he just sheared up my line. It's all nicked up. That sucks. All right, so that's it. That's 3 fish hooked in about an hour or so. I probably could stay a little later and see if they start biting again, but I gotta get back home. But if you can find a small trout creek like this in the next week or so, it's probably still gonna be good for some steelhead. But then it's all gonna be about the browns. So we're hopefully gonna do a video on that soon. So I hope you enjoyed this little adventure, and we'll catch you next time. Tight lines.